The desire for multiple partners is a complex topic that has been debated across cultures, societies, and individual experiences. It is not merely a matter of attraction, but is deeply rooted in psychological, emotional, and even societal factors. Some men feel the need to have multiple women in their lives for various reasons, ranging from personal insecurities to cultural conditioning, and understanding these motivations can offer insight into human relationships. One of the primary reasons a man may seek multiple partners is the need for validation. Many individuals, regardless of gender, seek external affirmation to feel valued and desirable. Some men equate their self-worth with how many women they can attract, believing that having multiple partners is a sign of success or superiority. This mindset is often reinforced by societal norms that celebrate men with many relationships while discouraging the same behavior in women. Such validation-seeking behavior can stem from deep-seated insecurities where a man may feel incomplete unless he constantly receives attention from multiple women. Another factor that influences this behavior is the fear of commitment. Some men struggle with the idea of long-term emotional investment in one person. They may view exclusivity as a restriction rather than a meaningful bond. This fear can come from past experiences of heartbreak, witnessing dysfunctional relationships, or simply a reluctance to take on the responsibilities that come with a committed relationship. By keeping multiple partners, they create an emotional escape, ensuring they never become too dependent on or attached to just one person. Biological and evolutionary theories also attempt to explain why some men desire multiple partners. In evolutionary psychology, it is often argued that men have an instinctual drive to spread their genes, leading to a natural inclination toward multiple partners. While this theory may provide a biological perspective, human relationships are far more complex than mere survival instincts. Emotional connections, ethical considerations, and social responsibilities all play significant roles in shaping relationships. Using biology as an excuse for unfaithfulness or disrespect ignores the emotional intelligence and moral responsibilities that differentiate humans from mere instincts. Cultural conditioning plays a crucial role in shaping relationship behaviors. In some societies, polygamy is accepted and even encouraged, while in others, monogamy is the expected norm. The environment in which a person is raised influences their perception of relationships. A man growing up in a culture where having multiple partners is seen as a sign of masculinity or power may internalize this belief and act accordingly. On the other hand, those raised in societies that value exclusivity and deep emotional bonds may view multiple relationships as a sign of disloyalty. Emotional dissatisfaction is another reason why some men seek multiple partners. In many cases, the desire for multiple women is not about physical attraction alone, but a search for something emotionally fulfilling. If a man feels that one relationship does not provide everything he desires, whether it be emotional support, intellectual stimulation, or excitement, he may seek those missing elements in other women. However, this often leads to a cycle of dissatisfaction, as no single relationship can ever be perfect. The constant pursuit of something better prevents emotional stability and genuine connection. At its core, the desire for multiple women often reflects an internal struggle rather than an external need. Some men fail to address their personal issues and instead look for solutions through multiple relationships. Rather than seeking fulfillment from others, self-awareness and emotional maturity are crucial in understanding what one truly wants from relationships. A person who constantly seeks new partners without reflection may never experience the depth and meaning of a truly fulfilling relationship. While different people have different perspectives on relationships, mutual respect, honesty, and communication should always be the foundation. Whether a man chooses to have one partner or multiple, the key lies in ensuring that all parties involved are aware, consenting, and treated with respect. Understanding the reasons behind such desires allows for healthier discussions about relationships, personal growth, and emotional well-being. The emotional and psychological factors that drive a man's desire for multiple women are deeply rooted in human nature, personal experiences, and societal influences. Relationships are not just about physical attraction. They are shaped by complex emotions, past traumas, and internal struggles. Many men who seek multiple partners do so because of underlying emotional needs or psychological patterns that they may not even fully recognize. One of the strongest psychological factors is the need for validation. Some men tie their self-worth to the number of women they can attract, believing that having multiple partners is a measure of their success, desirability, or social status. This can stem from insecurities or a lack of self-esteem, where external approval becomes the primary way to feel valued. If a man feels inadequate in other areas of life, such as career or personal achievements, he may compensate by seeking validation through relationships. The attention and admiration he receives from multiple women give him a temporary boost in confidence, but this often leads to a cycle of dependency on external approval rather than internal self-assurance. Another major emotional factor is the fear of commitment. Some men struggle with the idea of investing in a single relationship due to past experiences or psychological conditioning. If they have witnessed toxic relationships, whether in their family, friends, or personal past, they may associate commitment with pain, restriction, or eventual disappointment. As a result, they avoid deep emotional bonds by keeping multiple partners, ensuring that they never become too attached to one person. The idea of having multiple women can serve as an emotional escape, allowing them to enjoy companionship without the vulnerability that comes with true intimacy. Emotional dissatisfaction is another key factor. Some men may feel that a single relationship does not meet all their emotional needs. If they feel unfulfilled, whether due to lack of emotional support, intellectual connection, or shared interests, they may seek other partners to fill those gaps. This often leads to an unrealistic expectation that no single person can ever completely satisfy all emotional needs, resulting in a constant search for something better. However, true emotional fulfillment comes not from having multiple partners, but from developing strong communication, emotional intelligence, and mutual understanding in a relationship. A lack of self-awareness can also contribute to this behavior. Some men engage in multiple relationships without fully understanding why they do so. They may act on impulse, influenced by societal expectations, peer pressure, or media portrayals that glorify having multiple women as a sign of masculinity. Without deep introspection, they fail to recognize the real reasons behind their actions and continue repeating the same patterns without ever feeling truly satisfied. Additionally, unresolved childhood experiences and attachment styles play a role in relationship behaviors. Men who grew up in environments where they did not receive stable emotional support may develop insecure attachment patterns. If they experienced abandonment, neglect, or inconsistent love from caregivers, they might develop a fear of being emotionally dependent on one person. As a result, they unconsciously seek multiple relationships as a way to protect themselves from getting hurt. The avoidance of deep emotional connection is a defense mechanism to prevent past pain from resurfacing. Ultimately, the emotional and psychological factors driving a man to seek multiple women are often linked to deeper issues rather than just preference or attraction. Understanding these factors requires self-reflection, emotional maturity, and a willingness to address underlying insecurities. Rather than seeking external fulfillment, true emotional well-being comes from self-acceptance, personal growth, and meaningful connections built on trust, respect, and genuine understanding. Cultural and social perspectives play a significant role in shaping a man's desire for multiple women. The way society perceives relationships, gender roles, and masculinity influences how men view themselves and their interactions with women. In different cultures and societies, having multiple partners can be seen as a sign of power, success, or even necessity, while in others it is considered unacceptable or immoral. Understanding these perspectives helps explain why some men feel the need to have multiple women and how social conditioning affects their behavior. Historically, many cultures have accepted polygamy or multiple relationships as a norm. In some societies, particularly in parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, polygamy has been practiced for centuries and is even legally recognized. In such cultures, having multiple wives is often linked to social status, wealth, and responsibility. A man who can provide for multiple women is seen as strong and capable, reinforcing the idea that masculinity is tied to dominance and the ability to support a large family. In these settings, men may grow up believing that having multiple women is natural and expected, making them more inclined to seek multiple partners in their personal lives. On the other hand, in Western societies and many modern urban cultures, monogamy is the dominant relationship model. Here, having multiple partners is often associated with infidelity, dishonesty, or moral failure. Social values emphasize loyalty, emotional exclusivity, and deep personal connections and relationships. As a result, men in these societies may feel pressured to commit to a single partner, even if their personal desires or cultural background suggest otherwise. However, despite the social expectation of monogamy, many still engage in multiple relationships, sometimes in secret, due to personal or psychological reasons. Media and popular culture also shape perspectives on relationships. Films, television shows, music, and social media often portray men who have multiple women as powerful, attractive, and successful. In many cases, celebrities, athletes, and influential figures are admired for their romantic conquests rather than criticized. This reinforcement of the idea that having multiple women is a symbol of status influences young men, making them believe that their worth is connected to how many women they can attract. The glamorization of casual relationships and the normalization of infidelity further contribute to the idea that being with multiple women is not only acceptable but desirable. In contrast, religious and moral teachings in many cultures promote monogamy, faithfulness, and long-term commitment. Many religious doctrines, including Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism, have different perspectives on relationships. While some religious traditions permit polygamy under certain conditions, others strictly advocate for one-on-one relationships built on trust and mutual respect. The influence of religious beliefs on personal relationships varies widely, but in societies where religious values are deeply ingrained, men may struggle with balancing their desires and the moral expectations placed upon them. Economic and social factors also play a role in shaping attitudes toward multiple relationships. In societies where men have greater financial power and control over resources, they may feel entitled to have multiple women. Historically, wealthier men have had the ability to support more than one family, and this pattern continues in many modern contexts. However, in more economically equal societies where women have financial independence, the power dynamics shift, making multiple relationships more difficult to maintain without mutual agreement. Additionally, peer influence and societal pressure contribute to a man's decision to seek multiple women. In many male-dominated social circles, men encourage one another to pursue multiple relationships as a way to prove their masculinity. The idea that real men should always have options and should never be tied down to just one woman is often promoted among certain groups. This peer pressure can lead men to engage in multiple relationships even when they may not deeply desire them, simply to fit into societal expectations. Ultimately, cultural and social perspectives shape how men view relationships and influence their behavior in profound ways. Whether through historical traditions, media portrayals, religious beliefs, or economic conditions, society plays a crucial role in determining how men perceive their role in romantic relationships. Recognizing these influences allows for a better understanding of why some men feel the need for multiple women, and encourages a broader discussion about personal choice, ethical responsibility, and evolving relationship norms. Respect and consent are the foundation of any healthy and meaningful relationship. Without these two essential elements, relationships become imbalanced, leading to emotional harm, mistrust, and even abuse. When discussing men who seek multiple women, it is crucial to understand that the presence or absence of respect and consent determines whether such relationships are ethical and acceptable or manipulative and harmful. Every individual in a relationship, regardless of gender, deserves to be treated with dignity and have their choices acknowledged and valued. Respect in relationships means recognizing the emotions, needs, and boundaries of the other person. It involves treating them as an equal partner rather than as an object of desire or possession. When a man engages in multiple relationships without respecting the feelings and well-being of the women involved, it creates an environment of deception and emotional pain. Genuine respect means being honest, transparent, and considerate of the impact one's actions have on others. A man who needs multiple women must ensure that he does not exploit or manipulate them for his own benefit. Instead, he should cultivate relationships based on mutual understanding and care. Consent is equally important as it ensures that all individuals in a relationship are willingly participating and aware of the nature of their involvement. In ethical relationships, every person has the right to choose what they are comfortable with. If a man wants to be involved with multiple women, he must communicate openly about his intentions and ensure that all partners are aware and agree to such an arrangement. Deception and dishonesty violate the principle of consent, leading to betrayal and emotional distress. True consent is informed, meaning that all partners should have full knowledge of the situation before making a decision. One of the biggest issues that arise when respect and consent are ignored is emotional manipulation. Some men may convince multiple women that they are the only one in their life, leading them to believe in exclusivity when in reality, they are being deceived. This not only destroys trust, but also causes significant emotional damage. A lack of respect leads to relationships built on lies, where one person benefits while others suffer. Respectful relationships, on the other hand, are built on trust, where all individuals are valued for who they are rather than being used to satisfy personal desires. Another key aspect of respect is understanding personal boundaries. Every individual has different comfort levels and expectations when it comes to relationships. Some people are open to non-monogamous relationships, while others prefer exclusivity. Ignoring or violating these boundaries leads to conflict and emotional distress. A man who truly respects the women in his life will take their boundaries seriously and will not pressure them into situations they are uncomfortable with. Respecting boundaries also means being attentive to emotional well-being, ensuring that no one feels neglected, used, or disrespected. Consent must also be continuous. It is not a one-time agreement, but an ongoing process. People's feelings and comfort levels can change over time, and it is necessary to check in and communicate openly about those changes. Just because a woman agrees to a relationship at one point does not mean she is obligated to continue if she feels uncomfortable later. A respectful man understands this and allows space for open dialogue rather than forcing or guilt-tripping his partners into staying in a situation that no longer serves them. Ultimately, the importance of respect and consent cannot be overstated. They are the pillars of healthy, meaningful, and ethical relationships. Without them, relationships become selfish, harmful, and unsustainable. A man who seeks multiple women must recognize that his desires do not override the rights and feelings of others. By practicing honesty, transparency, and genuine respect, relationships can be built on trust and mutual satisfaction rather than deception and emotional pain. Respect and consent are not just optional aspects of relationships. They are necessities that ensure fairness, dignity, and true connection between individuals. Maintaining multiple relationships comes with significant challenges that can affect emotional well-being, trust, and overall life stability. While some men may believe that having multiple women is exciting or fulfilling, the reality is that it often requires a high level of emotional intelligence, honesty, and effort to manage multiple relationships ethically. Without these elements, such relationships can lead to stress, misunderstandings, and even heartbreak. Understanding the challenges that come with multiple relationships can help individuals navigate them more responsibly or reconsider their approach to relationships altogether. One of the biggest challenges of having multiple partners is maintaining honesty and transparency. A relationship, whether monogamous or non-monogamous, thrives on trust. If a man is involved with multiple women without their knowledge or consent, it leads to deception and betrayal. Lies and secrecy often catch up with a person, leading to broken trust and emotional pain. Even in situations where all partners are aware of the arrangement, complete honesty is required to ensure that no one feels misled or undervalued. Keeping multiple relationships hidden or constantly managing different stories can be mentally exhausting and unsustainable in the long run. Another major challenge is time management. A healthy relationship requires effort, attention, and emotional presence. When a man has multiple partners, balancing time between them becomes increasingly difficult. Each person in a relationship has needs: emotional support, companionship, and quality time. If one partner feels neglected or less important, conflicts and insecurities arise. Failing to dedicate enough time to each relationship can result in dissatisfaction, resentment, and eventual breakdowns in communication. Unlike in monogamous relationships, where focus is on one person, managing multiple relationships demands a careful and fair distribution of time, which can be overwhelming. Emotional strain is another significant issue. Being involved in multiple relationships means dealing with different personalities, emotions, and expectations. Every person has their own way of expressing love, resolving conflicts, and handling emotional needs. Keeping up with multiple partners' feelings can be emotionally exhausting. If one partner is going through a difficult time and needs support, the man may struggle to provide enough attention while also managing other relationships. This emotional burden can lead to stress, guilt, and frustration, making it difficult to maintain any relationship in a healthy manner. Financial strain is also a practical challenge. Whether in serious relationships or casual dating, maintaining multiple relationships often comes with financial responsibilities. Gifts, dates, travel expenses, and general spending on multiple partners can become financially draining. If a man is not financially stable, trying to manage multiple relationships can lead to stress and even dishonesty about his financial situation. Some men may resort to borrowing money, hiding financial struggles, or making excuses to avoid spending equally on all partners. Over time, this creates tension and can lead to conflicts when one partner feels she is being treated unfairly compared to others. Jealousy and insecurity are natural human emotions that often arise in multiple relationships. Even in open or polygamous relationships where all partners are aware of the situation, feelings of jealousy can emerge. A partner may feel less valued, fear being replaced, or struggle with sharing emotional and physical intimacy. Dealing with these emotions requires open communication and reassurance, which can be challenging when managing multiple relationships. If jealousy is not addressed properly, it can lead to conflicts, emotional distance, or even the end of the relationship. Social and cultural judgment is another issue faced by men who seek multiple women. In many societies, monogamy is considered the standard relationship model, and having multiple partners is often seen as immoral, unfaithful, or irresponsible. Family, friends, and colleagues may criticize or disapprove of such a lifestyle, leading to social pressure and strained relationships with loved ones. A man involved in multiple relationships may have to deal with secrecy, judgment, or even rejection from those who do not support his choices. This can create stress and isolation, especially if he values his reputation and social standing. Another challenge is maintaining emotional depth in relationships. When a person divides their attention among multiple partners, it can be difficult to form deep and meaningful connections with any one of them. Emotional intimacy often requires time, effort, and undivided attention. In multiple relationships, spreading emotional energy across different partners can prevent the development of strong bonds. Some relationships may remain superficial, lacking the deep understanding and commitment that many people seek in a partner. Over time, this can lead to emotional emptiness or dissatisfaction, making the relationships feel less fulfilling. In conclusion, while some men may believe that having multiple women is a symbol of success or excitement, the reality is that it comes with numerous challenges. Maintaining multiple relationships requires honesty, time, emotional effort, and financial stability. Without these, relationships can become stressful, unbalanced, and emotionally draining. Jealousy, trust issues, and social judgment further complicate the situation, making it difficult to sustain multiple relationships in a healthy and respectful manner. Ultimately, true happiness in relationships comes from meaningful connections, mutual respect, and emotional security, rather than the number of partners one has. Emotional growth and maturity are essential for building healthy, fulfilling, and respectful relationships. Whether a man chooses to be with one woman or multiple, his emotional intelligence determines the quality of his relationships and his ability to handle them with responsibility and care. True maturity is not about how many relationships one can maintain, but about how well one understands emotions, treats others with kindness, and makes thoughtful decisions. Encouraging emotional growth and maturity allows individuals to develop deeper connections, make wiser choices, and create relationships based on mutual respect and trust. One of the key aspects of emotional growth is self-awareness. A mature person understands their own feelings, motivations, and desires. Many men who seek multiple women do so without fully understanding why. Some may be chasing validation, others may have a fear of commitment, and some may be influenced by societal expectations. Taking time to reflect on personal emotions and relationship patterns helps in making conscious, responsible choices rather than acting on impulse. Self-awareness allows individuals to identify whether their actions are truly aligned with their values and long-term happiness. Another important factor in emotional maturity is the ability to take responsibility for one's actions. A mature person acknowledges the impact of their choices on others and does not blame external factors for their mistakes. If a man is involved in multiple relationships, it is his responsibility to ensure honesty, fairness, and respect in his interactions. Immature behavior, such as deception, manipulation, or emotional neglect, leads to harm and broken trust. Emotional growth involves recognizing one's shortcomings, learning from past experiences, and making an effort to improve. Developing empathy is also crucial for emotional maturity. Empathy allows a person to understand and consider the emotions of others. In relationships, this means recognizing how one's actions affect a partner and making efforts to meet their emotional needs. When a man has multiple women in his life, failing to practice empathy can lead to emotional neglect, hurt feelings, and misunderstandings. Emotionally mature individuals make an effort to listen, validate feelings, and show care and consideration for their partner's well-being. Empathy strengthens relationships by fostering trust, understanding, and emotional security. Communication skills are another essential part of emotional growth. Many relationship issues arise due to a lack of clear and honest communication. An emotionally mature person is able to express their thoughts, feelings, and intentions openly while also listening to the concerns of others. In multiple relationships, effective communication is even more important to ensure that all parties are aware of the situation and their feelings are respected. Poor communication leads to misunderstandings, resentment, and unnecessary emotional pain. Encouraging emotional growth means learning how to communicate openly, honestly, and respectfully in all relationships. Patience and emotional control are also signs of maturity. In relationships, conflicts and disagreements are inevitable. How a person handles these situations determines the strength of their emotional maturity. An immature response may involve anger, blame, or avoidance, while a mature response involves calm discussion, compromise, and understanding. A man involved with multiple women may face situations where emotions run high, and being able to handle conflicts with patience and rational thinking is crucial. Emotional maturity means not reacting impulsively, but instead finding fair and respectful solutions to problems. Another key aspect of emotional growth is prioritizing personal development over external validation. Many men who seek multiple relationships do so as a way to feel powerful, admired, or desired. However, true confidence comes from within, not from external approval. An emotionally mature person focuses on self-improvement, setting meaningful goals, and building a fulfilling life beyond relationships. Instead of seeking validation from multiple partners, they develop self-worth through their own achievements, character, and personal growth. Finally, emotional growth involves understanding the value of deep and meaningful connections. While some men may believe that having multiple women brings happiness, true fulfillment often comes from strong emotional bonds built on trust, respect, and shared values. Emotionally mature individuals seek quality over quantity in their relationships, prioritizing meaningful interactions and emotional intimacy over temporary excitement. They recognize that relationships are not just about personal pleasure, but about mutual care, support, and long-term emotional well-being. In conclusion, emotional growth and maturity are essential for building respectful and fulfilling relationships. Self-awareness, responsibility, empathy, communication, patience, and self-worth all contribute to emotional maturity. Whether a man is in a single relationship or multiple, his ability to handle emotions with wisdom and integrity determines the success of his relationships. Encouraging emotional growth allows individuals to create meaningful connections based on trust, honesty, and mutual understanding, leading to deeper happiness and personal fulfillment.